Hey there, it's Ashley at Hedrick Homestead, and we are just getting ready to put some of our first things in the ground in the garden, one of those being potatoes. And so I thought it'd be a really great opportunity to talk about some of the easiest plants that you can get started growing if you're a beginner. So here we go with my top 5 favorite easy to grows. So number 1 is going to be kale. I am a huge fan of growing kale because it is super simple. It produces all year, like the whole growing season, so whatever that is for you, and it just keeps producing, and you keep harvesting and it keeps producing and you keep harvesting. The more you harvest, the more it produces. So it really is magical. Plus it doesn't take up a lot of space. You can grow it in a pot, you can grow it out in the garden. We always love to have a little bit of a kale forest, so we can just give away a ton to people, and you can use it in so many different things. So number 1 would definitely be kale. If you're looking for something easy to get growing, try kale. Some of my favorite varieties are Westland's Winter if you're looking for more of a curly kale, or Black Magic if you're looking for more of a lacinato or dino variety. Closely following kale is Swiss chard, another very easy to grow green. It grows very similarly to kale. You can get it in the garden early. It's cold hardy just like kale is, and again, you can use it for a lot of different things. So most of the same benefits that kale has also applies to Swiss chard. So if you are more of a Swiss chard person than a kale person when it comes to your greens, then I would choose this over kale. If you prefer kale, do kale. Or if you're like me, do them both. All right, number 3, branching away from the greens, I'm actually going to potatoes. I've been growing Yukon Gold potatoes for many years now, and they are super simple. Order your seed potatoes, get them in the mail, cut them up with the different eyes. I'll be doing a video on that shortly. Put them in the ground, pretty much set them and forget them until a few months, and then you dig them up and you have tons of delicious potatoes. They're super easy to grow, never had any issues with them, and plus they're delicious. Who doesn't love potatoes? Like I said, my favorite variety is Yukon Golds, but there are so many different ones to choose from if that's not your jam. All right, after potatoes, we have squash, specifically butternut squash. I have had some varieties of squash be really touchy for me, some varieties that I really love, but they're a little bit more finicky. But Waltham butternuts, I've been growing for years and they've never given me any problems. They're super prolific. Literally, you just plant the seeds in the soil once the ground warms up, and by the fall, you have a ton of butternut squash. Again, I love Waltham butternut. They grow really nice and big, and they have a really deep, rich flavor, so that is what I recommend. The only thing with squash is, even though it is easy to grow, you do need a lot of space because it likes to branch out. So if you're growing in a small garden, you probably want to stay away from this one. Which brings us to number 5, and this one is great for you if you have a small garden and need to be space efficient, and that is radish. Radish are super quick. You've got from seed to plant to harvest in like 21 days for most varieties. So it's really fast. They don't take up much space. They're super easy. They like the cold. So it's a great thing to plant in the spring when you need that little bit of like, I want to grow and harvest something, because you can get it in the ground and then get it to your plate in just 3 weeks. Big thing with them is that you don't want to let them get too big because they can split and crack, so you have to be on it. So be watching your radishes, but other than that, they are super easy to grow. So those are my top 5. If you've been gardening for a while and want to share your top 5 down in the comments below, I would love to hear them. And if this is your first time gardening, try these varieties. Let me know how it goes. I would love to hear. All right, till next time.